impact of Israel's decades-long occupation of the Palestinian land has been systematic human rights violations on a massive scale. One of its most damaging consequences is the impact of Israel's discrimination policies on Palestinians' access to adequate supplies of clean and safe water. In November 1967, Israel issued Military Order 15-8, which stated that Palestinians could not construct any new water installation without first obtaining a permission from the Israeli occupation army. According to the Warships cluster, some 13,000 Palestinians living in 99 communities in the rural areas of the occupied West Bank are considered at high risk of water scarcity, since they are not connected to the water network nor have any reliance in the form of water storage and depend on the trucking of water. Another 300,000 in 234 communities are considered at medium risk of water scarcity. Overall, in the occupied West Bank, there are some 50,000 people in 151 communities that receive less than 30 liters per person per day. Furthermore, some communities have access to less than 25 liters per person per day, which is on par with disaster and the humanitarian crisis criteria. These amounts are well below the minimum 100 liters per person per day, which according to the World Health Organization is necessary for human dignity and thus should be considered a minimum core obligation to provide. According to Amnesty International, 180,000 to 200,000 Palestinians living in rural areas have no access to the water network. Palestinians are barred from 77% of the Jordan Valley, including all access to the Jordan River and adjacent springs, and have access to only 30% of the water production from the eastern aquifer, while Israel utilizes 70%, with 75% of that amount going to Israeli colonial settlements built in the Palestinian land. Superimposing a map of the apartheid wall over the map of the Palestinian water resources provides a striking illustration of how the wall is encroaching not only on the Palestinians' land, but placing Palestinian water resources out of access and control of Palestinians and into access and control of Israel. Indeed, the wall is rooted in such a way so as to deny access to Palestinians to some of the richest water sources in the region, the areas of the western aquifer that contain the most resources of extraction and development of wells. In Gaza, some 90 to 95% of the water supply is contaminated and unfit for human consumption. Israel doesn't allow water to be transferred from the occupied West Bank to occupied Gaza, and Gaza's only fresh water resource is the coastal aquifer, which is insufficient for the needs of the population and is being increasingly depleted by over-extraction and contaminated by sewage and seawater infiltration. That is the nature of colonial powers. That is the nature of Israel stripping the natives, the Palestinians, of everything. Ramadan Mubarak, and thanks for watching.